That's the one thing.
Happy Friday, everybody. Cannot believe the weekend is upon us. And here we go. It is October, and we are sliding right into the middle of October. Again, very hard to believe that next week's the middle of October. If you haven't had a chance to get your subscription box, hopefully you will dip in this weekend and get one. They are fabulous this month, full of all kinds of pumpkin items, and you can purchase them on our website, although our link is broken at the moment. It should be fixed by this evening. Or you can come into the store, either location, and purchase one. So definitely check that out. But one of the things I wanted to come on and talk about today, because it's relevant in my own home, is fleas. They are invading, and even typical times that you would have seen fleas, or that you would think that you would see fleas, would not be the fall. But surprisingly, temperatures above 85 degrees make fleas go dormant. It's a little bit too warm for them. But as soon as it dips below 85 degrees, and this is the ideal time for fleas to be rapidly reproducing. She's over me. But fleas are rapidly reproducing right now. So now is going to be the most common time for you to have a flea issue. And I know several of us here at the store are battling some flea issues. I'm seeing one here and there on my guys. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about things you can do to battle fleas to keep them from being such a problem in your home. So number one is a great repellent spray. And my favorite is Wondercide. I love this company. It's mostly cedarwood oil, but it has some other ingredients in it. Has 4 different scents. This is one of them, which is the cedarwood scent, but there's even one that is peppermint scent, rosemary scented, and it is a great spray. It also has 3 different sizes. So depending upon the size of your pet, how much you want to utilize this, you can use it on yourself as well. So if you're going outside, it also is a mosquito repellent, or any kind of biting fly or bug. It repels all of them, and it has a nice scent to it. And my dogs don't particularly care to be sprayed, but usually what I do is get it up nice and close and rub it into their fur. Only a couple of squirts is all you need to squirt down like a dachshund-sized dog. You just want to mist them before they're going outside, and it helps to repel. It also will kill on contact. So another thing that I do sometimes is flea comb, which has little teeny tiny threads to it. And I keep a flea comb, go through, brush them, and spray that on the flea comb to kill any live fleas that might pop off. So that's a nice thing to have on hand. You can also spray your yard. Wondercide has a great spray, and this hooks up to a hose, and you spray the yard to help kill the fleas and ticks. So that's a way you can treat your yard. Shampoo items. Using a flea and tick shampoo. I definitely recommend, some people will use things like Dawn soap or any kind of dish detergent. Remember that your pet's pH balance is important. And so by using those kind of soaps, you can mess up the pH balance of their skin and make them dry and flaky, or give them skin infections. So you definitely want a shampoo that has been formulated for the pH of your pet's skin. So make sure it's safe for dogs or dogs and cats, depending upon the animal you want to use it on. And I should say, be very careful with natural flea products when you're applying them to a cat. Make sure it says it's safe for a cat on the label. There are some natural flea and tick repellents that are not as safe for kitty cats. So you want to make sure you're taking care to make sure that it says dog and cat if you're going to use it on a cat. Most things, if it's safe on a cat, it will be fine on a dog, but it just doesn't work in reverse. So just be careful about that. Make sure you're using a good natural flea and tick shampoo and letting it stay on their body for a good 10 to 15 minutes if you can, or as long as possible, to let it set on and kill any live fleas that might be on there and suffocate them, because that is usually how it works. It gets on the flea and suffocates the flea. So then you have things like supplements. We have brewer's yeast. These are little tablets. Usually dogs really like the taste, and they have a garlic flavoring, which is safe for pets, and that can help repel fleas from the inside out. So that's a nice supplement. We also have a couple by Earth Animal that are very similar in nature. You sprinkle this in their food, and this also helps repel from the inside. It helps, change the composition of their blood and make them less desirable to fleas. These are kind of unique by Vet's Best. They're flea and tick wipes. So you could take these. They're kind of similar to the sprays, but like I was saying, my dogs are not real keen on being sprayed. And the wipes you could take and just wipe over your pet to help repel fleas and ticks. You just not into it today? You silly girl. We've talked before about diatomaceous earth. This is a ground fossil, and it is a really powdery, dusty consistency, but those really tiny particles will scratch the outside of the surface of the exoskeleton of the flea, and it dehydrates the flea. That's how it kills the flea, but it's completely safe for your pet. Diatomaceous earth does come in several different forms, but the only form that is safe to use on your pet is going to be food-grade diatomaceous earth. So you may have seen diatomaceous earth used in swimming pools, to use through the filter system, things like that. You want food-grade diatomaceous earth. And so it's just like a silica, but it has really sharp edges, cuts the outside of the flea, dehydrates them. You can sprinkle this on your pet and rub it into their fur. You can also sprinkle it into the carpet or the bedding and give it a little bit of time, about a couple hours, and then you can vacuum it up or shake it out, and that will be good to help kill the fleas. Hey, if you are using it on your pet's skin, sometimes it can be a little bit drying, so just be careful, be sparse about it. Christine, I think you asked me if the sprays are good for cats. Yes, like Wondercide is safe for dogs and cats. That is perfectly safe for both. And it does come in 3 different sizes, I think. So if you were just spraying a cat, you can get the smaller size because you probably don't need as much. We also have natural products by Earth Animal that are topical. So this is like your spot-on treatment that you would put on their back or in between their shoulder blades. That works for a month, and it comes in a 3-month supply. They also have a natural flea collar. This just has an herbally peppermint smell. I've used it on my pets before with good success. But that's another great one to use in conjunction with the top spot. We have both these by Earth Animal, and then we also have them by a company called Alzu. Then, if all of these natural ones really aren't cutting the mustard, and right now, that really might be the case. If you're just really struggling with a heavy flea infestation, you're not alone. It is the weather. They are exploding right now, and I've had my own fair share of it, unfortunately. So on my larger dogs that have denser fur, that are getting their winter coat, I'm using Seresto collars right now. The glory of Seresto collars is they're good for 8 months. So they are expensive at the onset. They're about $65 or $66. So they are expensive at the onset. However, for that kind of investment, you get 8 months worth of protection, and it's kind of like set it and forget it. You put it on them, it works for 8 months, and you don't even have to think about it. Now, it doesn't mean that it's good for every dog. Some dogs will have adverse reactions to the Seresto collars. Things that I have heard about is rubbing, a reaction on their neck, or it not working, the fleas being immune to it, which can happen because it is a pharmaceutical. And so fleas are parasites, and they will find ways around different pharmaceuticals. So fleas are becoming immune. Oops, sorry. Not used to all this. They are becoming immune to things, so some fleas maybe aren't affected by this. So that is something to be aware of. But it has worked for me the last couple of years on my larger dogs that have denser fur. I typically do have to go to the Seresto collars in about September timeframe. Before that, they usually sail right through the first part of the year, but then we make it till about September, and then there are fleas in their coat. And I do think it is because they're getting their winter coat in. So their coat's starting to get thicker and denser, and it makes a better habitat for fleas. We also have Frontline Plus topical, and we also have Advantage from the Bear Company. And these have their place as well. They are chemicals. They are chemical based. So we definitely say use them sparingly, but do know that they are here. We also have a company called Petlock that is Petlock Plus and Petlock 2. These are the generic forms of your Frontline Plus and Advantage. And they're the same chemical components, the same chemical makeup, just the generic version, and they are a lot less expensive. So we do carry both Petlock and Advantage and Frontline Plus, should you need to go that route. But fleas are yucky. So some of the side effects of fleas, and one of the things you want to make sure you're keeping them off of your pet for, is because fleas can give your pet tapeworms. If your pet ingests a flea that has eaten the egg of a tapeworm, your pet can get tapeworms that way. Tapeworms aren't very dangerous for your pet, but they are pretty nasty. If you're like me, I am very disgusted by all of that. So they can be very nasty. So you're just a pill today. So you definitely want to make sure you're keeping the fleas off your pet for the best. I mean, they're irritating if nothing else, and they can get everywhere very quickly if they get into bedding or into carpet. It can be very, very hard to control them. So get a handle on it fast before they have a chance to explode in your home. They are quite a booger this time of year. They will start to taper off as the weather gets even colder towards December. But even at that, they do kind of like cooler temperatures, which is a misnomer. We tend to think they like summer temperatures and think of spring and summer as the problem. But it really is the fall that is the biggest flea demon. Well, do you guys have any questions? Feel free to throw them in the comments. And we're definitely going to, thank you, Holly. Aurora is just not feeling it today. She's ready to go home, as you can see. I know. But we have had a great day today. We'll definitely be doing some games next week on Friday. So you want to join us for some games. We will be giving away some free product and doing a lot of fun stuff. I'll wait just a second more and see if anybody has any questions or needs any advice. Of course, all the time you can come into either one of our locations. We have a full staff waiting to talk with you, and they can help you just as well as I can with any of the products that we have. And they can tell you all about natural ways that you can prevent fleas in your home. But no, you're not alone. If you're seeing the little fleas hopping around, you're not alone. It's definitely that time of year. Okay, well, no more comments, but I hope you guys are having a great Friday afternoon, and stay dry in all the rain this weekend. Remember that we have a full stock of all of our raincoats and our winter coats here at the store, and they can be ordered online on our website for in-store pickup or for home delivery. Thank you, Marty. It was great to see you this morning. Glad you came over to the Sedgefield store to see us. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on Friday.